Hey folks, this is Rhykker, and if you're playing Starfield, there are a few simple mods that can dramatically improve your experience. In this video, I'm going to recommend 10 beginner-friendly mods that don't really change the game, but provide some basic enhancements and should serve as a basis to any other mods you want to install as well. If you're just dipping your toe into the world of modding, this is going to be a little bit of an introduction to modding. We'll give some basic explanation on how to install these mods, and address some frequently asked questions or some frequent troubleshooting issues. Now, all 10 mods on this list will be from nexusmods.com. In the future, probably 2024, we're going to get official modding support for Starfield. At that point, we're going to have mods from the Steam Workshop. But for now, Nexus Mods is where I get my mods. And Nexus Mods have the Vortex Mod Manager. This makes installing mods a lot easier. Now, you don't need to use a mod manager. Back in my day, we didn't have mod managers. We had to install mods manually, and most mods do come with manual install instructions if that's what you'd rather do, if you don't want to use Vortex. But the instructions that we go through here will involve Vortex, so you'll have to make a Nexus Mod account, then just download and install the latest version of the Vortex Mod Manager. As you can see here, the manager is an interface that lets you select games. It'll either auto-detect the games that you have, or you can manually make it find what game you want to manage. You can download your mods straight through the mod manager if you want, or from the website nexusmods.com. And then in the mods section, you can easily enable, disable, install, uninstall, or just see all the mods that you have without having to go in and manually delete files most of the time. So the first mod I'm going to recommend here, which I'm going to say is almost mandatory to play the game, is StarUI. Now, Bethesda is pretty notorious for being bad with user interfaces. I remember Skyrim way back in the day, playing that on PC. Goodness, the UI was horrible. We had to install SkyUI, the Skyrim user interface overhaul mod, to really make it playable. In the case of StarUI now, we have basically that UI mod now coming to Starfield, which dramatically improves the inventory experience. This mod gives you a more compact view. It gives you better ability to sort in columns. It enables you to display so much more information on screen at the same time, so much more control over being able to sort your gear. Tons of quality of life features. The little sidebar, the little scroll bar, is now wide enough that you can actually click on it to move it. It's always been impossible to hit the little singular pixel needed to move that scroll bar with the mouse. You can choose to add extra columns to sort additional things. You can remove things if you want. It's pretty customizable. It's even more customizable if you want to dive into the configuration files. Seriously, I cannot ever do another playthrough without this mod. Now, before you can install this mod, there's one step that you have to do beforehand. You need to enable something called archive invalidation, which is a very simple .ini configuration setting. So to install that, all you gotta do, you go to your Starfield folder under Documents, My Games, Starfield. In the video description, there's going to be something you can just copy paste. It's going to be User Profile, Documents, My Game, Starfield. You just copy paste this into your Explorer address bar, and it's going to take you right there. In there, you should find a .ini file called starfieldprefs.ini. If you don't see file extensions, then at the top of Explorer, click View, Show, File Name Extensions. Now you're going to copy starfieldprefs.ini and then paste it. Then you're going to right click it, you're going to rename it to starfieldcustom.ini. You'll then open that file, you're going to delete what's in there, and you're just going to copy paste this right here again in the description below. Nice and easy. Hit save, and that's it. Step 1 is done. On to step 2, now you can actually install StarUI. I'm going to recommend doing that straight through the Vortex Mod Manager. Makes it nice and easy. Now in my case, after I installed it, the mod wasn't working in-game until I actually reloaded Vortex as administrator and reinstalled the mod with Vortex as administrator. So if the mod doesn't load for you in-game right away, you can try doing that. Otherwise, the mod author on the mod page has a list of troubleshooting steps that might help you out. Alright, the number 2 mod we're going to recommend downloading is the Starfield Script Extender. What does this do? Absolutely nothing. As far as you can tell. It actually does quite a lot. It's just that it's a mod that other mods will use to do more things. It doesn't do anything for you in and of itself other than be a prerequisite for some other mods. So if you want to get into any more advanced modding, including the number 3 mod on this list, you're going to need to first install the Starfield script extender. Bethesda games are built with a certain scripting language, and there's certain limitations, and what the script extender does is give modders new functions to work with within the scripts, extending the possibilities of these scripts. So if you happen to try to run a mod that requires some of these scripts and you don't have this installed, your game's just gonna crash. Now again, I had the same issue that if I was not running Vortex as admin, the mod wouldn't actually install. It would download, it would say it's installed, but I would have to reload Vortex as admin and then hit reinstall, and then all the files would go in the correct place and the mod works. Now while running Vortex in admin mode, I'd actually have trouble downloading the mods straight from the mod website. So what I would do is actually take the URL and paste it into Vortex. I'd have to be logged in there, and that would enable me to easily download the mod. Otherwise, installing the mod manually and without Vortex is just a simple matter of popping a couple files into your Starfield folder. Just follow the written instructions on the mod description. Alright, now the number 3 mod that we're going to recommend, which, in fairness, doesn't have to be for everyone, but it is the Baka Achievement Enabler. If you care about achievements, or if you just care to not have a warning pop up telling you that achievements are disabled, you'll want to install this, because if you're going to play around with mods, by default that will disable achievements. With Baka Achievement Enabler, mods will no longer disable achievements, and also using the console will not disable achievements. And you're not going to get a warning every time you open up your console. That's, for me personally, that's the big one. You won't get a warning every time you open the console saying that achievements will be disabled. Alright, the next mod I'll recommend is a matter of preference, but I think you might prefer it. Now, it's called Neutral LUTs, no color filters. A LUT is a lookup table. You know how you have photo filters with different apps that you can like adjust colors, maybe put like a sepia tone, adjust contrast. Yeah, for video, these are called lookup tables or LUTs. And what this mod does is apply just a sort of neutral filter, because the game does a lot of post-processing effects to, I mean, in fairness, try to be artistic and give the game a certain visual feel, but this could make it a little difficult, at least I find in my case, to see what's going on exactly. I prefer a more neutral look where the darks are dark and colors are just what they are, as opposed to like there's a sort of like beige color or a blue color, and everything gets kind of gray and muddled. So you can see the before and after here. In this interior zone, this is my own footage that I recorded in a cave. You can see the drastic change. I feel I can see so much better. The darks, the contrast is increased so much. The mod author himself has plenty of examples that he's done side-by-side comparisons. Again, matter of preference. If you want to appreciate the artistry of what the devs intended, maybe do your first playthrough or play a bit with the regular graphics and then try this out if you really have some visibility issues. Now, I had some trouble getting this mod to work, and this is what did it for me. I had to go into my documents folder. I had to go back into that Starfield custom.ini file and add these lines here, again copy paste, from the description below. Then I went and I copied over the contents from the folder in my game's Starfield data and moved that over into the installation folder. So in my case it's Steam, so that would be Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Starfield. Then you delete the data folder in my documents, because what's happening is that there's a conflict. There's a data folder in my documents, and there's a data folder in the installation where the game is installed itself, and as long as these two exist, it causes conflicts in certain mods. This mod hit it for me, so I went and I deleted the one in my documents, and then this mod worked. Alright, number 5 on our list is Undelayed Menus. Opening and closing the inventory has like a fraction of a second little cute animation that plays. Look, Ain't nobody got time for that. Undelayed Menus removes that animation, making opening and closing your inventory instantaneous. You can see my before, that slight delay because it plays out the animation, and then after now, instant open close, open close. You can even just rapid double tap it. In my opinion, a great quality of life change. Now, this one conflicts with StarUI. However, you could get both of these to work. So what you're gonna do is install Undelayed Menus, then you're going to reinstall StarUI over top of it, and then your Vortex launcher is gonna tell you, oh, there's a conflict here. You need to create a rule and establish what mod loads first and which overwrites the others. So you're gonna have StarUI load after Undelayed Menu. Then you're gonna have to find this .ini file. You're gonna go into your folder, data, interface, StarUI inventory.ini. Now you might not have that yet. You might just see StarUI inventory default in brackets .ini. Take that, copy, paste, leave the default one untouched, then rename the copy and just call it StarUI inventory.ini. So just remove the default. You're going to then go into that ini file and you're going to look for the line instant open close animation. You're going to modify that so after equals it says 1. You hit save and you're done. Both mods are going to work. You're going to have your nice StarUI and you're going to have your instant open close menus. All right, the number 6 mod on our list is called Cleanfield. This basically quality of life thing just gets you into the game faster. Skips all the startup menus, the Bethesda logo, the epilepsy and seizure warnings, message of the day. You can even customize exactly what it's going to skip. It skips loading the Starfield logo if you want. Really, like, if you just want to be instantly in the game as fast as possible, Cleanfield does it for you. Now, for me to get this to work after I installed it, I had to go back into my Starfield custom.ini file, and I had to add this line here, general sIntroSequence equals uMainMenuDelayBeforeAllowSkip equals 0, hit save, and then the mod was working. Alright, this next mod is another matter of preference. It's BetterHUD, immersive and dynamic, user configurable. So I know a lot of us like to dive into these games, and immersion tends to be a big part of it for a lot of us, not everyone, sure, but with this you can sort of configure the degree of immersion that you want. At baseline, even just the minimum stuff that it does is move some of the pop-ups, like when you get XP, moves them a little lower so they're less obtrusive, right? So at the very least, this is a mod that makes UI elements less obtrusive, sorry, HUD elements less obtrusive, and you can go the full range of super immersive HUD that really removes as many elements off your screen as possible to make the experience as immersive as possible while still giving you information that you need. For instance, when you need your ammo to pop up on screen, it'll pop up, but you can see the before and after here. There's a lot of visual clutter removed from the HUD, but again, I have it set here pretty aggressively. You can configure and dial it back to whatever you want, and installing this was pretty straightforward. Just be aware that if you download the regular file, all it's doing is some very basic things where the XP indicator and the location text is going to be moved, made smaller and moved into a less obtrusive place. I'd recommend that at minimum. But if you want the more advanced features, you got to check out what's currently the sneak peek 0.2.2 version of the mod. If you're checking this out in the future, it might be a full release, I don't know, but you want to go to Files, and that's where you can select, if you scroll down, the sneak peek version 0.22 or any other version that you might want. Alright, this next mod undoes a little bit of what we just did, in fact, and it's called Enhanced Player Health Bar. Basically what this mod does is color your health bar. As you take more damage, it becomes more alarming. If you want to be focused on the action, having at the corner of your eye the color changing can help you stay focused in combat and know when you need to heal, as opposed to it just staying as a white indicator. Now this mod is kind of compatible with the last one. It will bring back some UI elements, so it's technically incompatible. It's going to override some of the settings of the immersive UI in that it will have your health and your weapon ammo on screen at all times again, but the rest of the immersive HUD experience will still apply. Just make sure that when you install the mod, it's going to tell you there's some compatibility issues. Please set up some rules. Make sure that this mod loads last so that it is overriding specifically just the little health bar indicator from the previous mods. Also, in the optional files, you can choose to download a version of this mod that has the original color green instead of white. If that's your preference, you can do that. So it'll go from green to yellow to orange to red as you take increasing amounts of damage. Onto mod number 9 on our list. It's going to be Compact Mission UI. This is another UI mod. It is fully compatible with StarUI, and it just adds some quality of life adjustments to the Mission UI menu. The missions will take up less space, so you don't have to scroll as much, and it also makes completed missions or completed steps in missions faded, which also helps with visibility. Super easy install on this one. Just download and install it. Nothing more to add. Alright, and number 10 on our list, Starfield Performance Optimizations. Real simple, everyone can benefit from this. Squeeze out a few extra frames, whether you're running the game on high graphics or low graphics. When you download this, make sure you install the file that is specifically for what graphic settings you want to use, whether that's ultra, whether that's medium. You're going to squeeze out some extra frames. I gained an average of about 10 to 15 frames. I jumped from about, let's say, 80 to... I was fluctuating 75, 85, and then I was like pretty consistently above 90, 95, sometimes dropping down to 85. So a noticeable increase. All this does is make a few tweaks to squeeze out a bit more performance. In the past, this mod had some issues being downloaded through Vortex. Now it does not. Easy peasy, download, done. You might have to, when you're in game, swap from your current graphic settings to low or just some other random setting and then back to the setting that you want. You used to have to do that. I don't think you have to do it anymore, but just do it just in case. Doesn't hurt. And that's going to wrap up this list of mods. These are the mods that I'm currently running. I'm going to be looking to get into some more exploratory mods in the future, things that change the game in a more significant way, but I think this is a baseline amount of mods that pretty much everyone should be playing with. But I turn the question to you folks, are there any must-have mods on your list? Sound off in the comments, and also let me know, do you want to see another mod video from me where I pick some other kinds of mods? If so, what kind of mods would you like to see? Again, sound off in the comments. Personally, I just love modding. It's one of my favorite things about PC gaming, always has been, and I'm just thrilled to have another massively moddable game. Thanks for watching, special thanks to my Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube supporters for making these videos possible. If you enjoyed this video, please share it, check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Rhykkers Raiders for more gaming content.